Hi and welcome back to the channel. Manchester United have just defeated Everton 2-0 at Old Trafford, and I'm going to be giving you my overall thoughts on the game as well as the player ratings. So yeah, let's get started. For starters, when it comes to my thoughts on the game itself, I thought it was a very weird game, if I'm being honest. Like, we didn't really dominate the game, but we didn't really get dominated by Everton either. It was basically two teams that looked to play on the counter. So basically, it was sort of like we attack, they attack, but it wasn't great. If I'm being honest, it wasn't great. But with that said, we won, so I'm happy with that. I mean, I did say in the previous video that I was predicting us to win 2-1. We ended up winning 2-0. That means we got a clean sheet. So I'll take the clean sheet any day of the week, because if you don't concede, you don't lose. So we won the game. That's a positive. The performance in general, like I said, it wasn't the greatest, but anyways, there's nothing new there. So, I did say I didn't expect to see anything which was going to be groundbreaking or exciting. It was a decent performance from us, but not too great. I mean, we had players like Garnacho who kept on isolating. Is it Mikolenko at left back? Kept on going past him at will. Like, if anything, Garnacho could have easily left that game with at least another 2 goals and 2 assists. But I'm not saying he played poorly. Don't get me wrong. He played well. I just wish he was a bit more better with his final third decision. Like when he gets into the final third, either sometimes when he needs to cross, he shoots, and when he needs to shoot, he crosses. So he will improve as time goes on. He's a young guy, so cut him some slack. But the team as a whole, I wasn't really impressed. I thought we were alright, but like I said, I'm happy with the win. It was a good win. We'll take the 2-0. Keep it moving. There's a chance that right now, I think as we speak, I think we're only about 3 points off Spurs, and we're 6th, Spurs are obviously 5th, and there's a chance that at the end of the season, 5th may get Champions League football for next season. So you never know. We can't just give up just yet and say, oh, we're 6th, let's just give it up. Because for me personally, I think top 4 is done. We're not getting 4th. So I genuinely think at this point we're just fighting for 5th place. So I don't know if we're going to be able to do it. If you ask me, I don't like to sound too pessimistic when it comes to my club, but I've watched us long enough, and they've disappointed me way too many times. So I genuinely think, hand on heart, I think we're not going to make it to the top 4. As for the top 5, I think it's 50-50. I genuinely think it's a 50-50. I think it's very close. We'll see how Spurs does. I think they're playing either today or tomorrow. I think it's tomorrow. They play Villa. So those two play each other, who are 4th and 5th. So depending on how that goes, you never know. My perspective could change, but personally, I don't think we're going to get top 4. Yeah, let's see. We've won the game. Let's just keep on winning our games and hope that Spurs and Villa, either one of them falls out of the top 5. We can leapfrog them and get into 5th place. Of course, that's not what I wanted at the beginning of the season, to finish 5th or fight for 5th place. But, the season has been bad. Everyone is seeing this. Everyone who's a Man United fan. You don't even need to be a Man United fan to know that our season has been so poor. So, seeing as it's been bad, I'll take 5th right now. If it was offered to me, if I'm being honest, I'd take it, because there's a chance, 50-50 chance, that we might get to play Champions League football based on finishing 5th in the league. So yeah, I feel like I'm kind of going round in circles. So I'm going to keep it moving, and I'm going to move on to my player ratings. So yeah, player ratings, I'm going to mark them in the scores from 1 to 10, 1 being very poor and 10 being excellent, obviously, 5 being average. So I'm going to start with number 1, goalkeeper, Andre Onana. For me, Onana today, he made some decent saves. I'm not going to lie, he made some decent saves. And he looked alright. There was never really a chance where Everton hit a shot and I thought, oh my God, Onana, what are you doing? Or anything like that. Except for that one time where it wasn't a shot. I think it was Evans made the back pass, and Onana misread it and he couldn't control it without the corner. But I thought he was alright today. He made saves when he needed to make. It was nothing special. It's saves that he should be making, but we've seen Onana fumble easy saves all season, So when he does well, I'm going to give him his props. So for me, Onana gets a 7 out of 10. I'm going to move it on to right back. It's Diogo Dalot, my favorite player at the club currently. It's a coin toss between him and Kobe. But yeah, I feel he's my player of this season so far. But with Dalot, I feel Dalot played well. he was alright. He was solid. He wasn't like too brilliant going forward, but Lowe is one of those players who gives the team so much. Like, he can play right back, left back. I think at some point I even saw Jose, back during the Jose days, I saw him playing him at right wing, if not left wing. So he's a very versatile player. He can offer us a lot. And for me, I thought he was alright today. Again, another solid player. So I don't know if I should give him between a 6.5 or a 7. I'm gonna give him a 7. He was solid. The fact that he was able to move to left back towards the end of the game when Kamwala came on and he played right back shows his versatility. So I'm giving him a 7. I thought he played well. Moving on next to him, I'm gonna go with Varane, centre back. I thought Varane was also good. He was quite solid. Him and Evans, the both of them they were quite solid. I don't remember Everton really getting a chance. We were like, they should have scored that. Like they were both solid. So me, in fact, I'm gonna rate them together. Evans and Varane both get a 7 for me. Maybe I'm being too high, I don't know, but I think they both get 7. They deserve it. And then in at left back, it's Victor Lindelof, the Iceman, as some people call him. Lindelof, he was alright. He wasn't poor, I have to be fair. He played. I remember at some point in the first half, he had a shot that just went straight to Pickford, but it was a decent shot. So again, it's a 7 for him. I mean, the whole defense basically, from Onana to Below, Varane, Evans, Lindelof, we kept a clean sheet, so they all get 7s from me. And then moving it on to midfield, we've got Casemiro and Kobbie Mainoo. I'm going to start with my boy Kobbie. Big fan of his, big fan of Kobbie Mainoo. I think his potential is just, it's out of he's a good player. He's a very, very good player. Of course, he's still growing and he's getting experience, and he's going to make some mistakes, have some inconsistencies, some highs and some lows, but Kobbie is my guy. So, but I'm going to be honest today, I didn't think he had the best of games, especially in the first half. He had a few loose touches and he was getting knocked off the ball a bit too easy for my liking. But again, that will come with years. I'd like to think he's an 18-year-old kid, so I'd like to think he's still going to go hit the gym, maybe get a bit bigger, a bit more physical, because I know the technique is already there. The technique is already there. He just needs to bulk up a bit for me, get a bit more stronger on possession to make it a bit harder to dispossess him of the ball. So for me, Kobbie Mainoo didn't have the best of games, but he wasn't poor either. So I'm going to give him a 6. He gets a 6 for me, which is just above average. As I said, 5 is average. So Kobbie gets a 6 for me. Moving it on to the veteran Casemiro, another one of the players that I really, really like. Cas had a decent game. He had a decent game. There was nothing special or nothing bad. Like it was a decent game. It was alright, So for me, I don't think there's much to say about Casemiro. He also gets a 6. Moving it on to Scott McTominay, because apparently he was playing in the 10 today with Bruno playing in the false 9. But anyways, moving on to Scott. I've said it before and I'll say it again. For me, Scott McTominay is not a player who should be starting for Man United in 2024. Story. He's a decent player coming off the bench. Like, you see, if we're losing 1-0 or 2-0, or you're losing and you're trying to claw back or fight back, just try swinging balls into the box. Bring on Scott McTominay the last 10-15 minutes to try and get you an equalizer or a winner. That's where I feel Scott is effective. Put him in the box. Outside of the 18-yard box, I genuinely feel Scott McTominay offers us very, very little. He's a very limited player. He doesn't know how to control the ball. Can't pass it more than 5 yards away from him. Like, he's just alright. He's a steady Eddie, as you would say. So, for me, Scott didn't do that well. If anything, I didn't really see much of him in the game. I know when we scored when we scored the second goal, when Garnacho runs in, I don't know if it was Scott or Bruno who gave him the ball, but he was involved in that goal. But which eventually led to Garnacho running and getting fouled for the second penalty. But yeah, for me, Scott was just alright. I'm not trying to pick on the guy or hate on him, but I barely noticed him in the game, if I'm being honest with you guys. So for me, Scott McTominay gets a 5.5. So again, only just above average. So yeah, Scott gets 5.5. Now, in fact, scratch that. Scott gets a 5. He was average, like I said, so he should get an average score, so he gets a 5 for me. That leaves us with the two wingers and the attacker. I'm going to start with our right winger. In fact, I'm going to start with our left winger, Marcus Rashford today, who played on the left. Rashi, for me, gets a... he actually had his one of his better, not best, but better performances for the club this season. I haven't seen him perform well continuously throughout the season. So for me, I thought he was alright. He was decent. So he gets a... What does he get, Rashford? He scored. He looked lively. The fact that he looked like he was actually trying, like he actually cared, because he hasn't been showing that in the past couple of weeks. Any Man United fan will tell you that. I thought he looked lively and he looked bright. I know towards the end of the game he faded. In fact, second half he faded, but the first half I thought he was quite good. I'm one of the people who haven't been happy with Rashford for quite some time, but you gotta give props when players perform, you know. So for me, Rashford gets a 7.5. 7.5 for Rashford. I thought it was a good performance from him. Not too excellent, but just alright. It was a good performance. It was good. So he gets a 7.5 from me. Moving on to the other side, we have Alejandro Garnacho at right wing. I thought Garnacho was quite... It was a mixed bag with Garnacho, if I'm being honest. I thought he kept on going past Mikolenko like he wasn't even there. So that was the good part. But the problem is when he would get to the final third of the pitch, he would then either shoot when he had to cross or vice versa. But more often than not, or rather for the most part, he played good today. So he played good. I thought he was our best player on the pitch. He was definitely our best. The reason why I say it was a bit of a mixed bag when it comes to rating Garnacho was because I just felt like he could have left that game with at least 2 goals and 2 assists. Of course, he got the assists for the 2 penalties, well, at least according to FPL. I don't know about the Premier League if they're going to give those assists. But he played well, and for me, he was our man of the match. I wanted more from him. I'm not going to lie, I wanted more. But I felt he was our best player, and he was a good outlet. You know, whenever we hit him on the counter, whenever he just went past Mikolenko like he wasn't there, like I said. So, good performance from him. Of course, I wanted more from him. I wanted at least a goal, maybe another goal, because, you know, his tally's a bit low. His goal tally for the season's a bit low, especially in the Premier League. But it's all right. He's gonna get better as he grows. So for me, Garnacho gets a 8. He gets an 8. So that is my man of the match. So, and then that leads us to the last man. That will be Bruno Fernandes, the skipper, who's apparently playing the false 9 today. And to be honest, he actually played well. I'm someone who's been very, very, very frustrated with Bruno Fernandes in the past couple of weeks and months, in fact. I've just felt like he just keeps on hoofing the ball away. He can't control the ball. He can't just keep it simple, you know. But today, I have to be fair, I thought he played well. And that's not just because he scored the penalty. I genuinely thought he was all right. He was all over the pitch. You know, I think the false 9 role might suit him. I'm not saying he's the answer, but he played well, and I have to be honest about that. He played very well. So for me, Bruno also gets a 7.5, just like Rashford. So yeah, that sums up all the players there, and then that leaves Ten Hag. I'm not going to bother talking about the subs. I mean, look, well, let me actually get into them. Willy Kambuala came on, I think, last 10 minutes. No point rating him, you know, nothing happened when he came on. Amrabat also came on in the, he was the first player to come on for Kobe. I don't know if it was about around the 65th minute or 70th, but somewhere there. He was alright when he came on, so I'm just going to give him a steady 6. I'm going to give him a 6. Who else came on? Anthony came on for Garnacho. I think it was the last 15-20 minutes. Again, he was just... I don't even know what to say about Anthony anymore, man. The guy's just been a disappointment. I'm not going to lie. Like, he came on, and I genuinely don't remember one good thing he did when he came on. So, for me, Anthony, I'm just going to give him a 6 as well. In fact, all the subs get 6s for me. Kambuala, Amrabat, and Anthony, they all get a 6 for me. So, yeah, that leaves the manager, Eric Ten Hag. I thought today his tactics were spot on. We were playing Everton. I mean, like I said, I didn't expect him to come and start playing tiki-taka with Prime Barca, but we did what we've been doing all season, just getting by, you know. We won the game, kept a clean sheet, so that's good. So I don't know, today I'm gonna be quite generous with my rating for Ten Hag, because again, he's another one who I've not at all been happy with. So I'm gonna give him a 7. I'm gonna give him a 7. The only thing that I would mark Ten Hag down for is not bringing on Amad Diallo. I mean, Anthony's shown to us that he's rubbish. He's useless. So Ten Hag may as well have brought on Amad Diallo off the bench when he brought him on for Garnacho. Like, I genuinely don't know what the kid has to do to get some game time at this point, because Ten Hag just keeps on ignoring him. I don't know, maybe he just doesn't fancy him. It is what it is. But yeah, anyways, those were my thoughts on the game and my player ratings. Let me know what you guys think of my player ratings and my thoughts. Do you disagree? If there's a player you feel I scored too high or too low, let me know in the comments. Just drop a comment. And again, like I always say, show me some love in the comments, man. I'm new. This is literally my second video on YouTube. So yeah, like it's been quite something. That's how I can describe it. So again, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, make sure you click the subscribe button, turn on notifications, share the video, like the video, and like I said, show me some love in the comments. And yeah, I'm out. I'll see you in the next one.